Miracle Mile, 1988, directed by Steve DeJarnette, starring Anthony Edwards, Mare Winningham, and John Agar. A phone call to a wrong number reveals that a looming nuclear strike is imminent in Los Angeles, and they only have hours to escape. Will they be able to get away in time? This film was recommended by a fan. Thanks for the suggestion. Miracle Mile is an apocalyptic thriller that takes place entirely in the narrow window after the disaster stops being hypothetical and becomes inevitable. This actually makes it a rather unique film. It reframes the apocalypse away from abstraction or Cold War paranoia, and instead places us in a disaster film scenario, which isn't something we frequently see in this subgenre of fiction. Visually, the film is this really interesting hybrid of 50s noir DNA and 80s neon aesthetics. Two vintage Cadillacs are prominently featured in the film. Key scenes are set in an old diner, and the main character is literally dressed like he stepped out of a noir film, while still grounded in the 80s through more vibrant color choices in his wardrobe. Bathed in neon light, it creates this vibrant noir style that really stands out. The cast give a really solid performance as a group of likable characters, especially the star-crossed lovers played effectively by Anthony Edwards and Mare Winningham. There's also a shocking number of familiar faces in this film, including classic sci-fi actor John Agar, a pre-Star Trek Tasha Yar herself, Denise Crosby, X-Files bounty hunter Brian Thompson, and Sergeant Reed from the RoboCop films, Robert Doquy. Finally, 80s soundtrack juggernauts Tangerine Dream scored this film, giving it a pulsing electronic backbone and an unmistakably 80s cinematic atmosphere. Unfortunately, the film has a problem that it's unable to work past. So much of the second and third act is spent delaying the characters or having them get sidetracked, draining the urgency of the premise and turning what should be escalating tension into frustration. As a result, the story doesn't land as effectively as it should. Verdict: thumbs down. As interesting and as unique as this film is, I'm afraid the resolution goes nuclear in all the wrong ways. That concludes this week's review. If there's any obscure sci-fi or horror film you'd like to suggest, feel free to leave a comment below. Make sure to tune in next time for another thrilling, low-budget adventure.